The Wyoming senator, kind enough to join us. Senator, great to see you again. What do you make of what Jerome Powell is saying? He doesn't really see any surprises, seem to leave at the possibility that it remains, that rates could come down maybe as soon as June. I don't want to mischaracterize it, but I think that's the gist of it. What do you think of that?
I think it's good they're taking a wait-and-see attitude. Those of us who actually consume, go to the grocery stores, go to the gas pump, pay rent, are seeing very high prices. Rent over 20%, 19, 20, 21% for food, 30% for gasoline. So the things we buy every day are incredibly expensive. People in my state and elsewhere are paying more than $1,000 per month more than we did when President Trump left office. So the people at the Fed are seeing something different than the consumers are seeing in their everyday lives.
Let me switch, if you don't mind, Senator, to your colleague Mitch McConnell, who is endorsing Donald Trump. You know, they had a very acrimonious relationship. Bygones are bygones, I guess. The senator, is saying, I support him, not effusively so, but following other prominent members in the Senate and elsewhere. How do you feel about that? It seems like the party is indeed sort of rallying around the former president. Are you?
Yes, I think that it's important now that Nikki Haley has suspended her campaign, that we circle the wagons, we support former President Trump aggressively, because to me, the Biden presidency has been the worst presidency of my lifetime in terms of the effect on people in their everyday lives. And so now's not the time to nitpick each other. Now's the time to support each other, coalesce, get together, and support former President Trump.
How do you advise the former president how he, comports himself on the campaign trail? There's no telling him what to do. I get that, and it hasn't hurt him in some of his explosive comments or ripping Nikki Haley or anything like that, and a host of others. He is what he is, and voters, at least in the Republican Party, like that. But could it boomerang, or do you fear, if he's not careful, it boomerangs on him in a general election? You've probably heard the news, Senator, that Senator Biden wants to get him rattled, and wants to go after him, wants to get him angry, and wants the world to see how Donald Trump gets angry. What do you think?
Well, I have heard that, and I do think that those of us who know him know he has a great sense of humor, and that some of this is just his humor, but some of his humor is hurtful to people. And so if I could sit down with him, I would say, this isn't funny to some people, and it hurts us when you don't recognize where your humor ends and your biting humor begins. And I'd ask him to rein it in a little bit. I know that other people have tried that and failed, but I think he's maybe he just seems a little softer in his tone than he used to. And I think he knows that now is the time to build the bigger tent. We're seeing such different groups coalesce with him. He's making inroads with Hispanics, with blacks who realize that Biden policies are bad for them, and that the policies under Trump would be better for them. So we need to get past some of his biting humor and see what's behind that in terms of how we really can move America forward.
I look at a lot of the foreign press abroad, Senator, and of course the foreign press is abroad. What am I saying? But what they say, pretty much to a newspaper or the English version of it, they're worried about a President Trump taking over, whether he's really committed to NATO. His comments he's made that if Russia can go ahead and invade a NATO member that's not paying their 2%, whatever, you know the drill. And they think that not only is he going to test NATO and turn our back on NATO, but maybe just drop our back on President Zelensky in Ukraine and cozy up to Vladimir Putin. What do you think of that?
Well, I would say, look at what he did when he was president. He didn't abandon NATO. He built up the U.S. military, and he knows how to talk to bullies. So we're so much better off in terms of foreign policy. when he can go and call Kim Jong-un little rocket man and do things that sort of put some of our enemies off balance. What is this guy capable of? And, you know, when he went into Syria and let our military work its magic without one hand tied behind their back, it worked. That's President Trump. He didn't abandon NATO. So I would say, look at what he did and look at how much peace was around the world when he was president. That's who's going to be president again. It's not going to be this rhetoric. It's going to be the man you saw.
All right, so that's all bluster. Yeah, the way you see it,
2020.
Senator, you know him far better than I, that that's all bluster. He doesn't mean a lot of that stuff. It's just for a fact.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
He wants them to pay, believe me, he wants them to pay their dues.
Okay.
You know, Lithuania's stepped up. They're paying their share. They know the risk they're in sitting there on the Baltics. But, yeah.
No, you make a lot of sense. Senator, always enjoy and learn something from you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil. Good to see you.
Senator